guys, Ella here. You are joining me from beautiful Bali. Today I've actually got the pleasure of doing a quick pre-release review of the Protein to Energy Diet by Dr. Ted Naiman and William Shewfelt. I received a copy from those two gentlemen approximately 3 or 4 days ago on my flight over to Bali. So I sat there reading on the plane for a good 4 or 5 hours, actually just pouring through everything, having a quick look through. And I wanted to have a quick chat to you about what the book is good for, maybe it might not be aimed at, and whether or not I think you should get for it. First time, those who do know me will have no surprise that I'm a big fan of Dr. Ted Naiman's work. He is spot on the money with his philosophy towards having a lower amount of carbon bond energy in the diet from this form of carbohydrates and fats, and a high proportion of those in protein, and I'll get into some of the reasoning behind that in just a minute. Those who are also familiar with his work will know that he's famous for a lot of graphical representations of information, like the namings as they're known. And this book in no way will disappoint you on that front. It's pretty much a colouring in book or a picture book. So those of you who've got the IQ that I do, then you will love this. The book itself, in terms of content, covers predominantly his philosophy towards use of intermittent fasting, as well as a higher protein ratio to energy within the diet. The content itself does actually cover a portion of the science behind it, but it's generally just taken for granted. So you're assumed to just trust the author, which for most people I understand is fine, but if you are like me, where you are a detail-obsessed nerd, then potentially it might not push into that detail that you're after. It's also probably not going to be something that you can just reference at any given point just to, take away and start having internet arguments or to try and prove a point. But if you're just picking this book up to try and understand what you should do to be able to change your body composition without really getting into too much of the nitty-gritty details, it's pretty much perfect for you. From my perspective, I did find the book a little bit reductive in the sense that I would have liked to see more detail around why certain things work. I'm a believer that if you understand the why, the how becomes almost trivial. This book a lot more focuses on the how itself, so do this, do that, within this framework, etc., etc. Don't eat breakfast until 12, just have coffee, have some sweetener, don't mix any milk into it. Or do single sets to failure for this, this particular exercise, which is great. If you're the kind of person who doesn't want to really think about why things are working, don't really want to work out how to apply this to you in any specific sense, other than just doing what you're told, it's perfect for you. Moving on from that point, and briefly touching on it, the method that Dr. Ted Naiman recommends does work. There is no argument about that. Well, actually, unfortunately, there is. There's a lot of internet arguments about whether or not we should have a higher fat or a higher carb approach with lower protein, and I think anyone who knows me knows my opinion on that quite succinctly. But the fact is that the methodology does work. Depleting liver glycogen for a number of hours, followed by a high-intensity workout, and then replenishing those body stores through a higher protein and adequate fat, adequate energy intake, absolutely does work for maximizing body composition. We know the methodology that Dr. Naiman employs with a calisthenic heavy, single set to failure, Myo rep kind of style of training. It absolutely does work for those who don't have, a lot of time, a lot of equipment, and whilst you're never going to look like a bodybuilder, you absolutely can look like someone who works out and has a fantastic physique. So in that regard, I think it's perfect. There is quite a bit of content in there from William Shewfelt, which is kind of, again, I wouldn't say it's hardcore bodybuilding or hardcore weight training, but it does kind of raise the bar towards more, raising the bar to more bar work, actually, use of more free weights and that kind of content, so that's quite good too. Overall, I think it's a fantastic book. I am absolutely intending to keep this in my library. It's something that I'll be able to refer back to. One of the things that I really liked and appreciated about it the most was the fact that it was simple, very easy to approach, easy to pick up. And the content itself, they're almost like sound bites. You know, I can just grab a couple of pages and grab a bit of a section out of it, and I can answer questions, or I can just give some content away. And I think that's probably where the magic of this book is going to be. It's not going to be the be end and end all of how to change your body composition, but it does give you those snapshots, those key pertinent bits of information that I think will allow people just to get over the hump, start making changes, you know, get bitten by this bug, and then learn more as they go. I do recommend that you buy it, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll chat to you later.